went from MJ probably to Shaq. There's a little Iverson in there. Lou, do you agree that Kobe was never the face of the league?
It didn't feel like that to me. And I've always said that the league has never been one person. There's always been multiple guys as the face of the league. I mean, if you have one face of the league, usually there's a guy that they're pinning against him to be competitive with. And that, it was a lot of different guys at that time. You can make that argument. But Kobe Bryant was definitely one of them. I don't think that there's ever been a time where it's just been one guy. They've always had a rival at some point, with the exception of like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, was the clear-cut face of the league. Other than that, in this new era, there's always been a multitude of guys, from Kobe Bryant to D Wade at one point, to Shaq at one point, to Allen Iverson, so on and so forth. But Kobe has always been in that conversation, and through his trials and his triumphs, that's another conversation, how that affected some of those things. But there was a time in 2010, 2011, I want to say, Kobe Bryant was on top of the world. So to make the case that he's never been the face of the league, I disagree with Paul on that one.
Yeah, it's hard to say he wasn't the face just because how popular he was, and how known he was. And I feel like the peak of his individual career never matched up with the greatness of his actual team. So like they were just out of line a little bit. But when I think of the NBA, I'm thinking of Kobe Bryant. I'm thinking of him rather quick. So I see both sides. But again, face of the league, like LeBron, Steph Curry, MJ, those names come to my mind before Kobe Bryant. But it's hard to overlook him, and it's hard to not say he was one of the faces when everybody on the planet knows who Kobe Bryant is.
Yeah.
And I think if we switch the logo to Kobe Bryant, I don't think anybody would have a problem.
When he got that 5th championship, who else were they talking about? It was Kobe and LeBron. That was it. That was the matchup everybody wanted to see.
It's becoming blurry.
Like I said, short years ago, we were laughing and making jokes and saying they were god-awful. And now look at this team, basically with the same core of guys. So kudos to them.
It's a hell of a turnaround. Like it's not common to see it so drastic, but here we are. All right, let's do a little Thunder talk, shall we? 17-1 is where they sit. 9 straight they've won. This is crazy. They beat the Blazers. They're one of 10 teams to start a season at 17-1 or better. But, and look, we can start to kind of pick things apart a little bit, try to find some sort of flaw, Lou. I mean, that's kind of where we are with this OKC team. Their early schedule here has been relatively easy in comparison to others, like some Pelicans, some Kings. There have been multiple wins there. Do we hold that again? Obviously, you beat who you beat.
Listen,
but does it matter to you?
Do we think OKC is scared of anybody on the schedule at all?
Doesn't matter who they play.
No one.
Do we think that they're scared of anybody like? No, that doesn't matter. I think that comes with the spoils of being a champion. And look at how they opened the season. They could have came in this season with a championship hangover and not take it seriously. You're looking at a team even hungrier this season than they were last season. They even started the season with two double overtime wins, and they got through it. Any other team would have folded and said it's just early in the season. We can throw this one away. That's not OKC's. That's not their focus. That team is focused on winning another championship, and they're trying to beat any team that's in front of them, whether it's a team that's at the end of the standings or at the beginning of the standings. Anybody in their way, they're gonna try to knock them out and try to win a basketball game. So I don't care. I don't care about their schedule. It's not misleading at all to me. They're going to be just as dominant if you were to put the league's top teams in there, then they're going to compete at the highest level. We just talked about the Eastern Conference and creating separation. It's the OKC Thunder and everybody else way down the list. They've created so much competitive separation from everybody else. I don't care what their schedule says. And they got to play everybody anyways. And I think they're going to be just as dominant playing against the rest of the league.
Yeah, them more so than anybody, but we like to look at the schedule. Is it a favorable schedule? Like if I name Lou, if I went through the schedule right now, their next 15 games, you would say it's a win on all of them. So it doesn't matter. Like you said,
it doesn't matter
who they line up against. If they play their game, they are going to win that game or put themselves in the best situation to do that. So their schedule, again, light, hard, whatever, back-to-back, does not matter because this team is capable. This team is deep enough, young enough to handle any schedule that's thrown their way. So that is the good thing for them. And I did say a couple weeks ago, I think they're capable of going 31, 32, and 3 in the first 35 games. And it's very possible based on looking at this schedule. But like we're saying, doesn't matter who they play, because if they do their thing it doesn't matter. So they have a chance to win just by stepping on the floor. So this team's unbelievable. I think we're in for a real treat. I think it's going to be a historic season for these guys because, again, they're so young. There's no real load management. There's no, like, they don't care back-to-backs because they'll just throw in some never heard of, and they'll have 17-8. Like, it doesn't matter. And they're 17-1, and they're the youngest, best team in the NBA.
And you still haven't gotten Jalen Williams back. You're going to get him back at some point, which is
they're 17-1 without their all-star.
That's going to make them even more dangerous. Yeah, and they're ahead of schedule. By now, we said they'd have lost 2 or 3 games, and so them only having 1, they can put a couple of these in the bank to still have an opportunity to make NBA history, like the Golden State Warriors did. So they're
think about taking off the second best player on every team outside of them. Do you think they'd be 17-1? Like, take off Sengun on the Rockets, take off Jamal Murray on the Nuggets. No, they would probably be below 500. Like, it's crazy how deep this team is.
Absolutely.
Well, we should break that down on another day because
runway to figure it out, to kind of showcase him, to keep him as a trade asset without overpaying him if I'm the Warriors. But I don't think this is going to be a full-time permanent, spot for Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's not valued here. I think him and Steve Kerr are always going to butt heads just on, offensive sets and flow. And it's never about talent with Jonathan Kuminga. And I think it drives Kerr nuts that he doesn't remember plays. He takes bad shots. He takes shots early in the shot clock, all the things that don't really fit that DNA and that free flow and offense and extra pass, swing. That's not Jonathan Kuminga's expertise. And he's an athlete. He gets out in transition. He's had his highs and lows here, but I just feel like it's fit-wise. I don't think it's ever going to last. So I'm not surprised he feels like the scapegoat. Obviously, when he plays, he's productive. He's what is he averaging? 14, 6, and I just feel like he could be doing so much more somewhere else. And I just don't think this is ever going to feel like home. This is never going to feel like his franchise. I mean, like, you hear Paz talking crazy how he wants to pass the torch to him. Kuminga's never felt that way. Kuminga's never even said something close to that. He just wants to play. This just doesn't feel like it's going to be his team. And I think they'll obviously continue to monitor him and shop him, but he's too good to be playing this little and getting benched, in my opinion.
Chandler, do you think Kuminga is more of a star DNA type of guy opposed to being a role player? And maybe that's why we're kind of having these issues.
Yeah, I think he wants to be that. I think he thinks if he was in a Charlotte or a Washington, he'd be averaging 26 points a game right now, and he'd be getting his game off. Now, is that who he is on a good team and on a contending team? No, but I just don't think he's an offensive fit for this Warriors team, for the way they play, the way they move, run and gun, shoot, screen, slip. That's not who he is. And again, I think they'd find ways to use him and utilize him to his strengths and have him come off the bench and kind of run the offense through him, let him handle, let him get out in transition. But for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked. It hasn't fit. And he probably does feel like the scapegoat because he does get benched. He just straight up gets DMPs, CDs after he played the night before and had 23 points. He's probably like, shit, what else can I do to get more minutes and to earn some trust? And I just don't think it's ever going to happen there. I really don't.
It's a very weird story. It's a weird story. Like, it feels like such a waste.
He's too good. He's too talented.
Yeah, like, figure it out.
To be getting benched. Like, they're playing Quentin Post. Like, no disrespect. That guy plays, like, he's getting real minutes. Like, he's got Steve Kerr's trust more than Jonathan Kuminga. Like, I don't get it.
Maybe it's just a fit thing. Maybe it's a fit thing.
Sometimes we just don't like people. It happens, but it does suck that you're stuck there. Like, I feel for the kid. Like,
well,
then let's
listen. What I've learned though in this business, even if you don't like people, if they can play and they fit, they're going on the floor and they're gonna play. We're gonna put our personal feelings aside. Business is business. So even if Steve Kerr doesn't like him, if he felt like he can compete and he could help them win basketball games and he was a good fit, Jonathan Kuminga is gonna play. So at this point, all of the fit conversations and he's just not the guy. He got his money. Let him take it somewhere else with him and let him be a star somewhere. I like the fact that Chandler said it. I think this guy's a star, and he probably just wants to be a star somewhere. He doesn't want to be second fiddle to anybody at this point of his career. He want to flourish, and he want to let his wings grow and go out there and do his thing. So maybe at this point,
I know, but it's going to be a lousy team. It's going to be big fish, small pond. Like that's going to be a different kind of misery. Like there's just, it's all relative.
Listen, some guys like that too, though, Beetle. Some guys wouldn't mind going to average 25 on a bad team.
It's also college. The Warriors are hanging on.